The girls arrive at the gym and realize how much of a mess it is. Twilight is doubtful, but requests the help of everyone in an attempt to clean up the gym in time to hold the formal tonight. The girls agree, and after the requisite all-hands-in shot in a misplaced "yay" from Fluttershy, the girls begin cleaning the gym together over a Disney Channel-sounding montage. The can-do attitude of the girls proves to be infectious, as nearly all the passerbys decide to join in, and soon the bulk of the student body is working together to get the gym back in shape. Twilight not missing an opportunity to yet again bump into Flash Century. So the student body is able to get the formal back on for tonight. Successful, everyone leaves and gets ready for the big event. So the girls go back to what I'm going to assume is either Rarity's house or the equivalent of her boutique, and we get our second required montage of the girls getting all dolled up for their big night. They arrive at the formal, by limo no less, and Flash arrives mere moments after in his car. Of course he would have a car. He runs after Twilight and asks to at least get one dance tonight, and Twilight stumbles over her words before apologizing for her earlier outburst and accepting, taking his arm and guiding him inside. The dance seems to go off without a hitch, and Twilight, as expected, is named for a former princess, finally reclaiming her element of harmony. Everything seems to be going perfect when Snips and Snail suddenly show up and grab Spike. Twilight and her friends make chase, and the two lead the girls back to the statue that holds the portal, where Sunset Shimmer lies in wait. She tells Snips and Snails to release Spike now that Twilight has been lured out, then threatens Twilight to give her the crown, otherwise she'll take a sledgehammer to the portal, trapping Twi in the world of Canterlot High forever. In a valiant move, Twilight is ready to give up returning to her world if that means preventing Sunset from getting her crown, saying that, based on what she's seen Sunset do without magic, she isn't sure that this world would survive Sunset if left unattended. Wait, what? What has Sunset Shimmer actually done throughout the last hour that could possibly be a threat to the world at large? She's made a nasty YouTube video, told a few lies, and doctored some photos in the most archaic way possible. None of these can hold a candle to the potential disasters awaiting a magically infused world like Equestria without the elements of harmony to protect it. Sure, Twilight's speech sounds brave, but she's really just being stupid. There's no reason leaving Equestria unguarded is worth keeping Sunset Shimmer at bay based on what we've been just shown. So after that illogical outburst, Sunset finally does what she should have done in the beginning of the film and just takes the crown from Twilight. They play a quick game of keep away to pad the runtime before Sunset finally dons the crown. And then the stupidest thing ever happens. Sunset Shimmer gets the crown, puts it on, and transforms into a succubus demon. What? She then uses her power to turn Snips and Snails into demons as well, then casts a mind control spell on the entire student body. In typical cliched villain fashion, she then monologues her entire plan to Twilight.
Spoiler alert! I was bluffing when I said I was going to destroy the portal. I don't want to rule this pathetic little high school. I want Equestria. And with my own little teenage army behind me, I'm going to get it!
What? So your entire plan was to take over Equestria with teenagers? How does that even begin to make any sense? Anyways, Sunset seems certain of victory, gloating that in a world without magic, she has some, while Twilight doesn't, thus is powerless to stop her. Despite the seemingly hopeless situation, her friends refuse to leave her side, so Sunset decides to just take them all out with one shot. And, all of a sudden, What? Okay, hold on, movie, just, no. You cannot fuck up this many times in rapid succession. I can barely keep this shit straight here. Jesus Christ, let's just back up for a second and start at the beginning. Oh my god. Number 1. Why would Sunset let Spike go? She says to not be a monster, but Twilight doesn't need to know that. She didn't actually have to hurt him. The possibility would have been enough. He was the perfect leverage to get Twilight to do whatever she wanted, and she willingly gives up this advantage. Number 2. Why does Twilight believe that Sunset could destroy the portal with a sledgehammer? Wouldn't it just, pass through like any other object? It's not closed yet, right? Because that's, the entire point of the movie? Perhaps she was gonna destroy the whole statue that the portal was attached to, but I feel like A, Sunset doesn't seem to have the upper body strength for that, and B, that would take such a long time that Twilight could probably just pass through the portal while she's chipping away at it. Number 3. Why does Twilight's element work alone? The show has always implied that the elements only work as a set. Even Pinkie Pie states in this movie that they only work as a set when she's expositing who Twilight really is. Hence why the five were powerless against Nightmare Moon and the pilot until Twilight unlocked the sixth. The elements of harmony are pieces of a singular weapon, not weapons in and of themselves. Number 4. Why does Twilight's element contain corrupted dark magic? It's an element of harmony. Is this the writer's way of trying to insinuate that our world is inherently darker and more cruel than Equestria, and the very presence of such a virgin artifact in our reality instantly tainted it? Normally I'd entertain such a headcanon so rich in twisted social commentary, but the writing is so slapdash in this movie I can't even delude myself enough to roll with it. But let's just say that for whatever reason, fine. Twilight's element can work alone in the human world, and when it does, it harnesses dark magic, hence Sunset's plan. Number 5. Why does Twilight's element give Sunset powers when she puts it on, but doesn't do anything when Twilight wore it? She actually was able to put the crown on while at the dance, and it didn't transform her into a demon form when she was crowned. Number 6. Why can the human main six use the Deus Ex Rainbow Cannon without the elements of harmony, especially Twilight? If this is because it's the element of magic and can somehow grant the powers of the remaining 5 elements itself, doesn't this devalue the elements of harmony? Doesn't it make them essentially pointless? If this is the case, then it spits in the face of the remaining 5, as they're no longer necessary, and never were. It's been Twilight powering the elements alone the whole time. And if that's not the case, then the power of the elements is inside the user and not the artifact. But if that's true, then where is Sunset harnessing this dark magic from? If it's coming from Sunset herself, then the entire conflict of the film is called into question, since she never needed the element in the first place to become Demon Shimmer and should have just bombed in from the beginning. But apparently she does need the element, because as soon as it's removed, she reverts back to her human form. Number 7. If Twilight could barely walk around when she passed through the portal to the human world, how does Sunset expect to use an army of high school zombies effectively if they're going to be literally stumbling out of the portal trying to figure out how to manipulate their foreign quadruped bodies? Or better yet, in a world full of magic, why does Sunset think that a small band of high school zombies will be enough of a military force to conquer Equestria, especially when you plan on crashing in on Celestia, Luna, and Cadence all at the same time? Number 8. Why is this in the fucking movie? This climax feels like it belongs in a completely different film. It contradicts the entire tone that's been established over the last hour and change. The entire point of this film, I thought, was to take the characters of My Little Pony out of a fantasy world full of monsters, magic, and mystery, and place them in a world that is a mirror to our own and show how they would interact with normal, everyday situations. That was the whole point of the location swap? The entire tone of this film has been established as something purely slice of life. We established in the very beginning that magic doesn't work here. But then we take a complete 180 with this scene. If the climax of the film is going to be all about magic, sorcery, and magical girl anime references, why did we bother leaving the world full of magic, sorcery, and magical girl anime references in the first place? What is wrong with your face? So the main six fire off the rainbow cannon and defeat Sunset Shimmer instantly after being revealed, reverting her and Snips and Snails back to normal and breaking her hold on the student body. Twilight tells her that somehow her superpowers will no longer work in the human world and that she has revealed her true self to everyone. And then we get this bunk.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know there was another way.
Didn't know there was another way.
Didn't know there was another way? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? You're a student of Celestia. Of course you knew there was another way. The way she had been fucking teaching you that for some reason you didn't sign off on. Who in their right mind would buy such an obvious load of—
I don't know the first thing about friendship.
I bet they can teach you.
Are you fucking kidding me? We're really gonna accept this?
So we all apparently accept Sunset's apology. Spike makes a joke, and then Celestia gives Twilight her crown back whilst offering wisdom as Twilight bows before her. Twilight, she's a principal here, not a princess. That isn't necessary. So then Flash asks for that dance that Twilight owes her, and somehow everyone is okay with just resuming their everyday activities after watching a demon run amok, magic rainbow explosions, and seeing 6 of their classmates sprout wings and magical hair extensions. But alas, Twilight must return, so after a heartfelt farewell, she makes her way back through the portal to Equestria proper. A quick hands joke, followed by Spike wiggling his claws as if to clue us into how stupid it was, and this film is finally over. Or is it? Oh. They didn't.
We've got to stop bumping into each other like this.
Those bastards. So there you have it. Equestria Girls. This film, clearly, was not one of my favorites. It absolutely butchered its narrative and characterizations, and had little of the charm that made the series so enjoyable. The world was terribly trite, and overall, it was a forgettable, grating experience that, despite the claims that the idea was sparked by seeing so many humanizations from the brony fandom, was clearly greenlit for more typical corporate purposes. Add to the fact that the dolls have an eerily close resemblance to Monsters High, a similar franchise owned by Hasbro's biggest rival Mattel, and well, some of the dots just begin to connect. Hasbro needed an IP to compete with Mattel's biggest hit, and what easier way to jumpstart a new franchise than to spin it off an already successful one. A lot easier than building up something new from the ground up. Add to the fact that Equestria Girls could reel in more people to the MLP franchise in general, since we get a glimpse of Equestria proper in the movie, and it just seems like the right move. Then we see some guy named Mike Vogel on the DVD extras, credited as an executive producer, that has never really been talked about before, who apparently had his hands on a lot of the production, and whose commentary seems focused mainly on merchandising sales and expanding the franchise to as many different angles as possible, and one just has to wonder what was going on behind the scenes. I'll admit I don't have any answers, but I certainly have some questions. And there's one more thing I feel I need to say before I close this out. I did not hate this film because it was humanized ponies. I did not hate this film because it was set in high school. These issues would have been off-putting to me, sure, but I could have easily gotten over them if what was presented was an enjoyable flick. But it wasn't. I hated Equestria Girls because it was a bad film, for all the reasons I just stated. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, and probably already have said before even finishing watching this, is that I'm being too hard on this movie. That it's a film for kids, based on a TV show for kids, from a franchise for kids, to sell a line of dolls for kids, and that one should temper their judgments accordingly. The problem with this statement, especially from people who are otherwise fans of this franchise, is that you're promoting a double standard. This isn't just in respect to this movie, but to anyone who pulls this card in respect to Friendship is Magic in any sense. You cannot just cover up the show's weak points by claiming it's a show written for 5-year-olds, then simultaneously claim that there's stuff going on here that transcends the target demographic. These statements are incongruent and promote opposing mentalities. Pick a position. Friendship is Magic is either a show written for all ages, and thus should be interpreted and judged as one, or it's just for little girls, and little girls alone. Girls who apparently have no taste in good content according to you. And we're all fucking weirdos, and Fox was right all along. I choose to believe that My Little Pony is a show written for all ages, designed to appeal to everyone. Why? Because that's what Lauren and the rest of the DHX staff have been saying all along. My Little Pony is a well-written show that was made to appeal not just to children, but their parents, older siblings, and by extension, anyone who wants to enjoy quality animation, the same as any classic Disney film or latest Pixar creation. And do we pull our punches when talking about those films and franchises? No. And neither will I here. Fuck Equestria Girls.